Hi guys, it's Jerry here. Welcome to the Chartered Vendor Podcast. This is year 2023, our first podcast, and I'm enjoying this year. I don't know what you're doing, what you're up to. So here we actually discuss business. We discuss everything sales, everything business, everything marketing, accounting, HR, every aspect which affects business. So today, we just want to talk about something which is very interesting. I think each and every entrepreneur or most of the service providers out there, they can resonate with this. Have you ever given someone a service? Let me take a scenario. Probably you're an accountant, you're doing software, or you're a lawyer. Then you get into the courts, you fight for a case, you win that case. Probably that case is worth about 2,500 USD. But when someone is now out of the jail or when someone has been granted bail, do they really see the need or the urgency of paying you? So that's what we want to talk about today. I think I've experienced a lot, and I think this is very synonymous, especially when you're offering service. When you're giving service, after giving service, someone just feels like you haven't done anything. Like you didn't do anything. You're a photographer, you're a videographer, you're a doctor, you're an engineer. After drawing a home plan, then you give someone a plan, they see like, no, dude, you haven't done anything. So even in accounting, after doing books of accounts, they probably needed at the bank. You have done those accounts, you've submitted at the bank. Boom! Someone doesn't even communicate. Someone doesn't want to give you your money. This is the topic we want to talk about. Is it good to actually offer a credit facility when you are in service provision? I'll give you my mind. I've done it for several years, but sometimes you can start seeing your debtors listing, or you're actually seeing your debtors growing. The book is growing month by month. You can start with 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, and you are continuously giving credits, and you are even thinking that you are making money. Probably you are thinking that you are making $1 million, but in actual sense, remove those debtors. You are not making money because those are going to be bad debtors. And usually, I prefer when you are in service provision. I think with service, when someone is coming to you, they want representation, especially with probably the tax authorities. They're in trouble with the tax authorities. In Zimbabwe, we've got ZIMRA. In Zambia, we've got ZRA. People are in trouble. Their account is garnished. I think I once did that in 2015. A guy came to me, and it was an organization. They were into trade union, and the account was garnished in November. And they communicated with me. Then I said, I'm going to represent you. I'll take you out of the mud. But guess what now? After representing them, I think I actually, up to now, I still pinch myself because I think I undercharged. I charged about $15,000 to remove a penalty of about $2 million. I think I undercharged that one. But just guess what happened. You are still studying consultant, you're still new, but I had my knowledge. I knew what I was doing. I went to investigations, representing them, and I managed to knock out about $2 million from the bill they were charged before they were garnished. So I successfully won the reduction in the penalties they owed because they were miscalculated. And I charged $15,000. Firstly, they paid me about $5,000. And I enjoyed. I said, no, I had a lot of money, etc. But as soon as I'd lifted that garnish, and these guys, they were now accessing their funds. What they did, they were now ignoring my calls. Even when I went to their offices, you are now like a stranger. But when they were in problems, they would call me 10, 15 times, 20 times a day. So I think I didn't learn my lesson by then. So I continued with the consultants, offering software, doing these software packages, technology, ERP softwares. And you give someone a software, you agree. You give someone a contract, but they'll end up saying, no, I don't think we are able to pay you. Or people will start changing goalposts. Because why? They've got what they wanted. And they believe that when you're doing service, you are not doing enough. You are not, there's no product to talk about. probably what you've learned, but it takes time for me to acquire that knowledge. For example, the knowledge which I'm offering you, sometimes it takes 10 to 15 years for you to say this thing works, this doesn't work. So when I'm now doing it in 5 minutes, when I'm giving you in a minute, it doesn't mean that I'm only working for a minute. I think I'm working for those number of years. I think there's a guy called Picasso. He's a painter. He was a famous painter, one of the best painters. I think there's a lady who went to him and said, no, please paint my picture, Mr. Picasso. Then he painted a good picture in 5 minutes. It was done. Guess what this lady said? Then he said, how much is it, the picture? Then Mr. Picasso said it's $10,000. Then she said, what? But it only took us 5 minutes to paint this picture. Then he said, no, ma'am, it took me 50 years of experience, 50 years of working very hard for me to be able to paint this picture in 5 minutes. So you are paying me for my 50 years. You are not paying me for the 5 minutes I have painted this picture. So that's the same scenario when you're doing consultants, when you're offering service, even products as well. I think people, they, especially here in Africa, I think we've got a problem of not giving value to black-owned or other local businesses. But you notice when someone gets into big businesses like Chicken Inn, they get into big businesses like Nando's, they get into business like OK, Pick and Pay. They pay in cash. They pay in cash, and these guys, they don't offer any credit, but they're able to pay cash. But when they come to you, they want to negotiate on the price which you're charging, and at the same time, they want a flexible payment plan, and that flexible payment plan will end up taking years. And sometimes you'll be paid on the 40th, a day which doesn't exist on a calendar. That's what they do to you. So personally, I think working into 2023, I think if someone really feel that they are going to gain from whatever you're offering them, they must pay up front. Or if they are going to pay a deposit, let them pay a deposit, do work which can, I think you've noticed how builders usually do it here in Africa. I think builders, they'll tell you that, no, pay for the foundation. They'll build up to the foundation, then they're done. Then they'll say, pay another installment up to the window level. Pay for the window level, then they're done. Then next, it's on and on and on until the project is done, and you never have any enemies in business. Right now, especially personally, I think I've managed to acquire a bit of enemies, because when you're demanding what belongs to you, they're now calling you unprofessional, they're now calling you unreasonable, they're now calling you crazy just because you're demanding your money. And I don't understand. They've gained their service. Why can't they just pay? So I think this also applies to my sister, who are also in the oldest profession in the world. I think you know it. Don't offer service for free. Be paid first, then service later. So anyway, so what I'm just saying is that these problems, every entrepreneur right now can resonate with what I'm saying. People, when you give them service, you end up being an enemy. You end up being called names. Someone can actually say, okay, you've done photography, and they've said, no, I'm charging you $50 for this service. They'll say, so you think that I don't have $50? So I think with the car which I'm driving, I cannot give you $50. Please wait, I'll give you $50 later. They will disappear for a month, they will disappear for a year without giving you $50. I don't care about what you're driving. I don't care about where you are living. What I just need, I need my $50. That's what I'm only demanding from you. So entrepreneurs, as you're getting into business, I know that it's very difficult, especially in sales, to get a customer, but it's always good to get value for money. It doesn't make any sense to think that you are making $1 million whilst you're only receiving 300,000 cash, and the other 700,000 is in debtors. And it's also a cost to start calling debtors, visiting debtors. It's a cost on its own. Sending them to debt collection exercise, that is, you need a whole department to start collecting debtors. So it's up to you. It depends with your service, it depends with your industry. But just think about it. You need to control your cash flows. Remember, when you've got a huge amount of debtors, it simply means as your debtors are growing, it means also you're going to have a liquidity crisis sooner or later. Because yes, you can have a lot of revenue. Yes, you can celebrate that I've got a $200,000 sale. But if someone just pays $30,000 for the material, it means the $170,000 is going to bite you in terms of the cash flows. Remember, bills needs to be paid, electricity needs to be paid, salaries needs to be paid, rentals needs to be paid, and they are paid with cash. Though you are not having any accounts or credits from those service providers. So here at the Chartered Vendor, we learn about business, so think about it. I don't know, you can contribute. These are my thoughts. I believe that giving a credit is not an advantage in business. Sooner or later, you're going to realize it. That's why you see most of these big businesses, they've said, if you want to have a product, please pay. If there's no money, at least you know what? The other advantage is if people are paying in cash in your business. For example, let's say you're a consultant, you are employing about 50 people. Then only probably 50% of your clients are paying in cash. If your employees are going to do work for only 50% of those people, probably you're going to realize that you don't even need 50 people. You need only 25 people to do that work. So it means sometimes you're actually overstaffed because most of the people, they're doing work for people who don't pay. Number one. Number two, I've mentioned that you're going to be affected in terms of cash flow. Number three, you're going to create many enemies in business. Your clients, they're going to run away from you, start going to those who can offer them credit facilities because they don't want to pay. So these are my submissions. I don't know your thoughts. You can comment below on this video. If you're hearing us on the podcast, feel free to engage. Let us have this discussion. Get into my inbox, comment on my Facebook. Thank you. Until next time, enjoy your 2023. Jerry.